Call to order the Muncie Park and Recreation Board meeting Tuesday, March 18th. Would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Chandler Parks.
Here.
James Lutton.
here.
Mark Irvin. Shannon Powers.
Here.
Brad Marshall.
Here. Mark did let me know in advance of the meeting he had a conflict, another meeting commitment that he wasn't able to join us, and sent his apologies. Next on the agenda, we've got the approval of the minutes from the February meeting. There's no discussion or revisions. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Next, we've got the superintendent report with Mr. Carl Malone.
All right, good evening, Board.
Good evening.
All righty. Just a little update to everybody on the board as far as Parks Department. As I stated before you, we've been pretty busy with things that happen after the weather, such as, removing branches, broken down limbs, making repairs, things of that nature. It's keeping us pretty busy. We also try to make our parks safer by installing, upgrading our camera system, and also we have been assisting out at Perry Creek with the installation of piers. And we are still the leading city host for this year's IPRA State Conference. The conference provides a variety of opportunities and networking for professionals across the state, and I find it very helpful. I attended it last year and the previous years, and it's great networking opportunities for the city. Moving on, Perry Creek. So we went out shortly 2 weeks ago and met with the staff to find out what they needed from us as a support team. Once we talked with the Perry Creek staff, then we began to make things happen on our behalf, replacing and making repairs on the walkboards. There were quite a few walkboards that needed some assistance by removing broken boards and then refastening existing boards there to make those safe once we put those back out. We also recovered 17 piers that were damaged by the weather that had went into the lake and had been there for don't know how long, but it had been there for some time. Then we also installed several piers. Once we were able to pull them up with the team and some heavy equipment, we were able to get those repositioned, and now we're just waiting on a few minor repairs to those piers. But we should be in good shape. The concern was whether or not we was going to be able to make the repairs and had to move individuals, dock holders to a new location, and that's not going to be the case. So, but we also keep anybody informed. If something would happen where we wouldn't be able to do a pier, they would get a letter. But right now, as we see it, we don't have a problem in that area. That was the big concern before we got a chance to get down in the water and make those adjustments. Riverview Park restroom installation will be conducted by Parkmark Construction. We are waiting on the renderings and a start date. I think we're in the same situation where we're just in a wait and see. Don't have much information at this time. That's about all I have. But as soon as I can get more information, then I'll be able to provide update to the board on timeline for the restrooms at Riverview Park. I'll also give an update to White Neighborhood Association. I was there last month, and I talked with them about specifically about the restrooms at Riverview. And just as soon as we get a direction on where we're going, then I'll come back to the Neighborhood Association and give them an update. Tui Pool, City of Muncie Parks Department in conjunction with the YMCA will open Tui Pool on Memorial Day weekend and close on Labor Day weekend. Bud and Bond and Moore will conduct our pre-opening as they always have. For the years I've been here, they've been our go-to contractor, and so we look forward to making things happen with Bud and Bond and more. West Side Park, it's close to completion, opening date to be announced. Problem we had there last year, there was a couple repairs where our sewer line was backing up there at the restrooms. We had to dig in and make a couple of repairs. We think that's something that needs to be looked into, maybe by the city engineer or some other contractors to tell us how to permanent fix that. We think we got a temporary fix, and it could back up this summer, and then we'd be right back in the same situation we were in. So that's something we got to look into soon. Thomas Park, installation of water lines and a shut-off valve has been in place, and it has been installed. I was out there today with our plumber, Jay Bird, and those guys were there. I took several pictures of the work that was being conducted. What that does, it allows us to have the splash pad water running and the shut-off valve for when we have to have water to the park itself, up by the building, to allow for restrooms and things of that to be operable. So before, I think there was a valve, water line that got capped, and it didn't allow us to have water to Thomas Park's shelter. So that'll be corrected. That has been corrected, I'm sorry. And then park restrooms, we will have those open in the next couple of days. Talk to our lead mechanic, and he's going to be getting the Sloan valves and things put back in place. We think the weather is fine enough to go ahead and open those restrooms up as well. Program director, HR department has started the hiring process and going through the applications that they have. And then we are soon to be starting our park seasonal hiring process as well. So that's all I have as far as parks. Weather's cooperating. We look forward to getting back out at the Perry Creek the remainder of this week and continue our work on getting those piers put in.
How many do we still have to put in?
I didn't have an accurate count. I know our total is around 300, so total to put in, but don't have a real good number exactly. I mean, we got quite a few. Don't know if it's 75 or it's 100, you know what I mean, but we're just going to continue to push through. We know we're not there yet, and so we just want to keep pushing, keep putting them in, and hoping for good weather. As long as weather is good, I think we'll be okay. I think Junior is due to leave and be transferred to the street department, so we'll lose a key player with 30 years plus experience out there, who has been a big lead and a big help for many, many years there at Perry Creek. But he has since chosen to move on. And so we have a couple people out there that's a little bit seasoned, and we just have to pick up the pieces and keep moving forward. So.
You talked a little bit about getting the restrooms open in all the parks. You got a timeline or a target on that? Is that a couple weeks or end of the month?
No, this week.
This week, okay.
yeah.
So it should be by the,
Provided we don't have any problems with them.
should be open this weekend, provided no issues.
Yeah, I talked to Chris, and just a matter of putting the valves and things back in, and then turn the water on, and troubleshooting for any leaks that we may have, things of that nature. But
How about pickleball nets? I know it's a
they
big
have been
thing in
replaced.
town.
Only ones that we have not put in yet is Riverview. We have put Store Estates. Those two are up, and then Haltermans are up as well. And also we got to put the ones up at Cohen. So we got two still to go: Cohen Park and Riverview.
Okay.
We plan on putting those up this week as well.
Do you plan on keeping Cooley's restroom closed, or?
That's a good question. I plan to open them.
Okay.
We talked about that. Sam was here to talk a little bit about the safety. We talked about it last month as far as our camera system. I think that should allow us to be able to open them and to provide some security for us as well. But they've been down for a couple of years, and so we put money in that building to have those restrooms open along with the splash pad. And so if we have to reduce some reporting based on vandalism, then we'll address that as needed. But they've been down for 2 years. I think it's time to open those back up and see how it goes.
How about mulching?
I went by Westside Park yesterday and saw quite a bit of mulching needed there at Westside, quite a bit. I mean, you got major dips just in the swing set alone. And some of the parks are okay and some of them are not. Mulch is not cheap, depending on the cubic feet. The last invoice that we got is right around $7,000, $8,000 for mulch. So normally what we do is go around to all the parks, make an inventory, then order a truckload, and then try to spread that out throughout our parks. So in the long run, having a synthetic rubber surface is something we like to be able to get to eventually, but it's expensive. But then it also saves you. When you do the math and you add it up over the years, that's just one park of 7,000 to 9,000. That's not all 32 parks. That's just the one park. And so if you do the math, you can see that long term it's probably better to go that route. So, but that would be monies that we have to ask for at the beginning of the year to make those repairs in our park. So in other words, we have to go to city council and request those dollars to make those repairs and replacements in our parks.
Any other questions for Carl? Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Next on the agenda, we've got the programming and approval of events. Miss Nikki?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
So for programming, just an update for the summer internship program. We did host a second in-person registration at the Walker Center on the 8th and 9th. It was 2 days from 10 to 2. As we stand, once registration closed, we had 148 applicants. So I'm not sure if Carl's going to want to stick to the 100 or if we're going to do 120, but we're going to figure that out. Calls have been made to schedule the interviews, which will take place between March 24th and April 4th. Everyone has been called. Every single person that applied has been called. We still have about 15 people that we've called 2 or 3 times that we have not heard back from. So I will send an email out to them tomorrow because maybe they just don't recognize the number and aren't answering, so that we can make sure that we have everybody scheduled. Once we narrow down who is going to be accepted into the program, they will receive an email, a welcome email with the attendance policy, the dress code, the dates of the events, when they can go to Thrive and open up their bank accounts for their direct deposit. Let's see here. National Kids to the Park Day is scheduled for May 17th at Cannon Commons. We have confirmed the games, the bounce houses, the DJ, and the balloon guy. So we are inviting the community to come out and enjoy the day. And if there are any vendors or community organizations who want to participate, they can either call the office at 765-747-4858, or they can email us at muncie.in.gov, and either myself or Dee Dee will give them a call back. Flag football, they still have a few spaces left, so if you want to register your child for that, you can. Summer sports programming, we are working on finalizing all of that, as far as softball, baseball, basketball camps, all of those. So once we have that all nailed down, we will present that to the board. That's pretty much it. I do have one event that has been submitted for approval. It is the 6th annual Juneteenth celebration. They thought they had submitted it last year, but it kind of fell through the cracks. So it is scheduled for June 14th over at McCullough Park. They are expecting about 500 people, which is pretty much what has been averaging the past few years. They said as far as security, Chief Sloan has agreed to have Muncie PD assist with that. They are requesting from the Parks Department bleachers, the large stage, and the large tent, some of our horses, We do send them an invoice for those items since this is not a collaboration with the Parks Department. And then everything else they need, they would be getting, like, they would be ordering their porta pots directly and their trash cans directly from sanitation.
Okay.
And it is a all-day event, and
Okay.
they would, they also want the cabin, but that also goes on the invoice.
Okay.
Any questions?
Where does everyone park?
Everywhere,
Everywhere.
all
Got it.
around the McCullough. Some people park on the streets, across the street from it, just on the street. Some of them park in the parking lots, but they're not like all parked up in the grass or
Okay.
anything like that.
We've not had any issues in the past, have we? Significant?
No.
Been pretty.
No.
Any other
That may be
questions?
in part because there is a police presence that comes through throughout the day, and there's usually a couple that are stationed around. But it's a pretty mellow event. It's an all day. There are whole families out there. There's entertainment. They have vendors. So.
Any other questions regarding the Juneteenth? Not entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Do you have a time for National Parks Day? Because I want to make
It
sure.
is 12 to 4. 12 to
Thank
4.
you.
Now, is the National Kids in the Park Day the same as the National Parks Day? Are those two the same?
It's this, okay, so it's actually it's National Kids to the Parks Day, but we always used it as National Parks Day,
Okay.
but it's Kids to the Parks Day. And
That-
they did send over a proclamation to the mayor to be signed for that.
Will we have a flyer for that event?
We have.
Oh, we do.
I
Okay.
think we got
Oh, we got
that
it last
month.
Yep.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's on,
Yeah.
Facebook.
The Facebook
Okay.
and the city page.
Is it on the city's social media? Do you know?
I requested that it be added to the city's Facebook page. I don't know if it has been. I will check, and then if I don't see it, I will send
We can push that out again.
Good.
Next on the agenda, we've got the Prairie Creek report. If Kelly or Carl want to take that one tonight.
So, of course, Tiny's not here tonight, and Kelly's just going to come up and talk a little bit about what's happened out there since her role, and kind of give you guys an update on Prairie Creek, and then you can ask any questions. Thanks.
Hello. We've been working with the Muncie Fire Department on getting some of the docks that were torn up. They're just east of the Sailboat Club. There were 17 of them, which would be 34 slips that they left in. I guess they left a lot of the docks in on the South Shore. And they said they've done this the last 3 years and that they haven't really had damage. Well, this year they had a lot of damage. What they were going to do was put some buoys around them and move them, which thank goodness the fire department decided to do training there. They're helping us by getting out the debris, and then they're doing the training also. But I got a message, Wes, I think it's Wes Miller's my contact. The very first day they started at the beach, and they located decking boards with nails around the swim area. They got all those out. Today they recovered 10 poles, 2 cross members, they're steel, 26 tires, and various other large debris not related to the docks. And they're going to be there again tomorrow and the next day, depending on weather. So we're very thankful for that. We didn't have to move anyone. I'm sure they wouldn't have liked that. The Sailboat Club, they're donating us their old docks, so we'll have, I think they might even be some of them put together, so we're going to be moving their old ones for free to that area. And also they're donating a barge. We just have to replace a couple of barrels on them. We're in the process of looking for a pontoon right now, and we're trying to stay under $10,000. We've got about 6 of them that we found recently we're going to look at. But I guess in the past they've had a couple of motors that were 40 horsepower. When they push these plastic ones around, they've like burn up. They wanted something a little higher horsepower. So really, we just need a good working platform with a decent motor on it to kind of push these plastic docks around. Some of those were damaged with the ice as well. I guess last year, the pontoon that they were using broke down before they could get some of the plastic ones moved to a safe cove and tie them up. And some of them have broken free and some of them have been damaged. I think they're still going to be under warranty, even though I feel like that's probably neglect on our part. But I think Deaton said they would still come and try to replace those or fix those. And I think it's 4 of them, but one of them was worse than the others. Some of the fingers have broken loose, so some of them might be able to be repaired pretty easily. And we've already put a call into them. They just wanted some photos of the damage. We've already sent that to them. Our guys have been out there, like he said, putting on the decking. We're in the campground, the northeast part of the campground. And I think, we've been doing a pretty good job helping them out. Since it's not mowing time yet, that's why we're out there, because once we start mowing, it'll be more difficult to get out there. We haven't really been that busy at the office like I thought we would be, but I guess the leases are coming along fine. Tawny wasn't feeling well today, that's why she's not here. Do you have any questions for me?
How's it going with hiring temporary staff? to work
I haven't been
with?
doing that. Tawny's been working with Patty doing that, and it's been going well as far as I know. I'm CC'd on the emails, so I see, where they're hiring people. Mike will be coming back. He's the one that does a little bit of electrical, plumbing, and maintenance, and he's coming back the 24th. It's the same day Junior transfers. I've tried to talk Junior into staying. He told me he'd think about it, but he didn't sound like he really, was thinking about it. I hope he changes his mind. But I think we'll do well. It's just going to be a learning curve for all of us, and we're just going to have to step up and just do more. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah,
One, can we get an update on the dump station?
the dump station. Okay, well, we've met with the water company. I wasn't even aware of this till I started this job, but I found an email stating that if we didn't comply by December of 2024, we could be fined. I'm like, what in the world? So, I messaged the Parks Board, the mayor, because I wanted everybody to know, because I didn't know anything about it. And they told us if we were a private business that we would already be in big trouble. But with us being a municipality, they're giving us some slack. But I guess you have to have 60 gallons of wastewater storage per campsite, and that's over 13,000, capacity of 13,000. We have a 1,200 gallon leaking tank currently in the campground. Also, you have to have potable water for the primitive campsites. In the cabins, we don't. 2 wells were drilled. I guess one didn't take, one did, and I don't know why they didn't finish putting the well in, but we need to put a well in there. Then also the horse camp has to have a small dump site, at least 1,200 gallons, so we need to have one put in there. I've asked, we do a lot of work with Jaybird Plumbing because, I don't know the whole reason, but they used to work with the water company. We've gotten bids before, and that's just who we've always used. I think we could get other bids, but they're supposed to be giving us some kind of a bid on these things, but we probably, as high as it will be, we'll probably have to get several. So we started that process. There was a small grant that Shannon knew about, but I think we passed the deadline. I think that was like March the 10th, and we didn't have enough time to get everything together. But there's some things that we need to work on, and the state has been very kind, and Shannon was at that meeting, Carl was at that meeting, and they're willing to work with us, but they're kind of tired of people making these false promises or saying, we'll do this or we'll do that. They hired an engineering company and drew up all these elaborate plans, but then things have just kind of fallen through the cracks, and I don't know why, because I wasn't there. We just have to move forward and try to do the best we can to comply and do what they want us to do.
Is there a plan in place for that?
Right now, currently, there's not.
Is that going to delay opening of the campground?
I don't think so. I think if we just had our first meeting, I think if we make steps forward in progress, I think that the State Department is going to work with us. The guy was really nice, and he's just happy that we're communicating. And I really feel like there's not going to be an issue with that.
The water company would like to have a meeting with Carl
And
and
the mayor.
Kelly and the mayor.
The mayor.
and discuss, the lease, because it hasn't been revised.
So,
There hasn't been any major revision.
yeah, so we have a meeting set currently for April the 7th, 8 o'clock in the mayor's boardroom with all the parties and to discuss concerns from the water company and the city. So I'm sure once we come out of that meeting, we'll know a little more about where we at, what direction we need to go, and things that they're expecting us to get done and completed, so we can show some improvements and things of that nature. So I think there's a new president at the water company, and I think he's doing what a new president does, come in and see the conditions of the reservoir, and I'm sure he's heard concerns and complaints from individuals that live out there. And so the mayor just wants to be in the know as it relates to the city. And so that's why this meeting's scheduled for April the 7th, get everybody on board.
And then, why'd we leave those wood piers in the water? Do we know why?
No, don't have an answer. Yeah.
Junior told me that they thought they had lack of manpower, and they thought that it wouldn't, the 2 years before, they didn't have much damage. It was easier just to fix the damage than to take them all the way out. And they did it, it was a trial thing, they've done it the last 3 years. It just so happened the ice was really bad this year. And then when the ice receded, it took those with them and actually snapped off the welds of the steel. Like, it didn't just do minor damage, it did severe damage to like 17 of them and some others and some plastics. But it was because of lack of manpower. The pontoon broke down, we don't even have one right now. And then they were just trying to, save money, save time, and so it was like a trial thing. But he told me in the past, they've always come out for decades. And like, this is just the last 3 years they didn't. I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Any other questions for Kelly before?
Are there plenty of spare parts since we've,
The Sailboat Club has been very generous, and they're giving us a lot of steel poles and deck boards, decking, and it should be, he told us that it should be enough to replace all those very easily.
because we should have a stockpile, right, with the
And
floating
we do have a
piers?
stockpile left over from the, because the plastic ones were replaced, yes.
And so those 17 have to all be replaced,
Right,
like
the
brand
pieces
new?
of them are just laying on the bank right now, and they need to be removed, and we need to put the new ones in, and they said it shouldn't take that long to put them in. So they have to put 17 back in, but and that's what the fire department's doing out there, is pulling in all the debris that could potentially hurt someone during Ironman or at the beach, because they were going to put buoys around them and move them to another area and leave that there till summer, and I was like, we cannot do that. So thankfully, I knew some of the firemen from doing tree work, and they were kind enough to offer their services.
Any other questions for Kelly? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Next on the agenda, we have Friends of Prairie Creek. Got a couple flyers from you guys.
Hello, I'm Jackie Cisco, President of Friends of Prairie Creek. I believe everybody has a flyer. Mark, I don't know if you got one, but if not, I have one for you. So we have our agenda for the 2025 season. Our first event will be our opening meeting on April 11th to meet Kelly and go over what the plan is for the year. And then we also have our flyer for the Easter egg hunt, which is Saturday, April 19th. We are moving that over to the main office because the community building was already reserved. So they're letting us use the office area. They used to do an Easter egg hunt over there. The restaurant did. So there's a big area, a lot of room for people to park and do the Easter egg hunt over there. We are in need of donations. We have plenty of eggs because we save the eggs every year, but we need candy, small prizes, things like that. So that is all I have. Do you have any questions about anything else on the flyer?
Any questions for Jackie? Anything else from you?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're-
Actually,
oh,
can
go
I
ahead.
ask a question? Jackie, I have a question. Last month, there were some folks here affiliated with the Friends of Prairie Creek that were willing to form a committee.
Correct. They're both here. Would you like
Okay.
them to come up?
Well, I wanted, after the meeting, just to get your contact information to help organize maybe a group. But you'd left our last meeting before a chance I had a chance to come over to you.
Thank you, Shannon.
We can get that to
Yeah,
you,
we
or I
can-
can email it to you as well.
Get together after the meeting.
Thank you. Not you? I don't have my glasses on, so it's two gentlemen wearing baseball caps, I know that.
While we're talking about Prairie Creek, I just one reminder there, leases and payments are coming due about 15 days, 14. So due at the end of the month, so make sure those are turned in. If you got any questions, call the main office, call the Prairie Creek office, or visit the office during normal hours. Next on the agenda, we've got several old business items. We can start working through those. I think the first couple here are Carl related. First, we've got Security Pros update with Carl and Sam.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'll keep it relatively short. So last month, we discussed two small-ish projects. One main one being for the basketball courts at Heacon, where the cameras were, I suppose the internet was cut, not the cameras themselves. I spoke in big detail with Carl, mostly to work with the internet provider to get the internet rerouted into that building. I suppose it's a shelter nearby that's unused, but the two cameras on there are not recommended to keep using. We've got a proposal for effectively two cameras, both facing each basketball court and somewhat of the parking section. That I've got the proposal for, along with the one for Cooley bathrooms as well. Is it okay if I bring that up to you?
Certainly. Got several there.
Papers, yes. So in the two proposals, I can let you guys know the pricing today if you'd like. The one for the Heacon surveillance, the two cameras there, is a little bit less expensive than the Cooley bathrooms access. So the Cooley bathrooms access is effectively both doors being monitored on a timer. It's one of the main things we do with parks that face like vandalism and maintenance issues, either just damage, spray paint, teenagers, crazy people overnight. One of the main reasons is to remove maintenance's need to open and close the doors evening and morning. Sometimes they forget, sometimes someone calls in, they forget to open a bathroom, etc. Especially at Cooley, if it's been closed for 2 years, it may be like an expensive solution, but it is a good like long-term safeguard for both those doors. At Heacon, so yesterday Carl and I spoke with Nate Sloan, the police chief, to kind of get his ideas on both. He had a few long-term camera recommendations at Heacon, mainly to possibly view the baseball diamond nearby long-term because there's concerts there. More or less, he kind of approved the initial idea, maybe some tinkering here and there in the future. But overall, those are the first two we've got. Carl and I met at Chewy Pool today to review that location as well. I'm just getting started on the map and scope of work for that one as well. I spoke with Carl on the need we mentioned last month for the service is called Virtual Guard, effectively connecting some cameras to a human call center instead of being like an automated recording that says, effectively people can tell it's a robot talking to you if you enter premises overnight. It's a human calling out and challenging people directly. We could possibly use that at Toohey Park, depending on if the priority is watching the pool or the actual kind of mainstay entrance area to prevent break-ins in the future. So Carl and I can kind of tinker with what's possible there. I'll keep you guys updated if we got any other major questions. And if you guys would like additional printouts for those proposals, I can share more in the future too. I just had the one big packet today.
I was gonna say, do you have an electronic copy?
Ooh, I can email that to you.
Yeah,
I
if
sent
you-
you one big email with some like references at other towns, and
Yep.
would you probably email both of those to you as well?
Yeah, if you can email these, to probably get them to Nikki or Carl, and then they
Perfect.
can distribute to the board as
That's
best
perfect.
method there.
Awesome.
Pass those around too.
Any other questions for me?
Could you include in your proposal maybe some, what do you call it, sensor lighting for TUI?
Ooh, sure. So Nate asked about that as well. A lot of the cameras have like the IR infrared built in. So depending on how the lighting works, I'm guessing the lights turn off overnight, or like say 9 o'clock when I think the pool closes at 7. If the lights turn off, there's a couple different ways you can adjust the camera to see in the dark. A simple way to put it. Do you like the idea of having motion lights no matter what, or was it mostly just to let people know that there is a presence? Like if they come near the premises, the lights turn on. A couple different ways to tinker with it.
Me personally, I think that'll be, if lights go on, that'll deter people immediately.
Sure. Are you more specific about the sidewalk up front or inside the pool
In
area?
the pool, because people jump over the
I
fence and
see,
swim in
okay.
there in
How
the
often
evening.
do they jump over? Or like how frequent? We don't know yet?
I mean, with the current system that we used, that's up and installed, it was active for two summers ago. And I know we caught people at least twice.
Okay. And does the PD
But
get
we didn't
involved?
have lights that turned on, so people
okay.
didn't know they were even on
They
camera.
were just swimming in the dark,
Yeah.
basically? Okay.
Having a great time.
That's a good point. So, Carl and I were discussing the large lights around the pool. That's a whole separate equation if we can put cameras on those, but that might be another long term. If putting a few lights on the cameras that we're suggesting now isn't a good deterrent, the large light poles surrounding the pool may be good as well. I can see what's possible on the tech side. I don't think it should be too difficult to include like motion lights as well. I like that idea.
Any questions for Sam?
I don't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we've got the contract for the Prairie Creek Trail, the Phase 3. We talked a little bit about that last month. I did send some information to the board regarding that proposal in advance of it going to the Board of Works for approval. Needs to come to our board for approval as well. Right now, one of the things that I personally have reached out for and I'm waiting feedback on is the understanding from the water company that they are in agreement and in support of the project. I've not heard any opposition, and there's been a lot of conversations, essentially off record, that they want this project and seem to be good, but based on our history and the challenges that we've had in the contract, I think it'd be better that we had something firm and in writing on that. Reached out to Flatland this week, who's running that project, and they did not see any concerns with delaying that a month to allow some more time for American Water to get a formal response back to us. I think that's our best course of action, but certainly if we have got any discussion, we can talk about that some.
That's good to me.
If not, we move on to the next item, which is some recreational programming that Shannon is working on. I think maybe even some
yeah.
grants.
Well, no grants, yeah. So we are just, Carl and I, and Nikki, are talking about some summer programs at TUI, a Learn to Swim program. We don't have, the schedule yet. But we plan to do another program for 85 to 100 children, free Learn to Swim program through a state health department grant that I received through the university, but we're going to use it in conjunction with the parks. And then an ultimate Frisbee program at Heacon Park. We're going to run for 3 months on Wednesday and Thursday evenings, starting at 8 p.m. So we're working now on just how we'll handle the registration process and that promotion piece there. And then aquatic programming again, aqua Zumba at TUI twice a week, and water aerobics there as well. And then also some programming at Cannon Commons, group exercise in the mornings this summer. And then we're still deciding on what type of group exercise, if that should be like line dancing or some sort of aerobic dance class. Have already hired an instructor for that program. And then some other, like chair yoga and line dancing in McCullough Park when it warms up near the shelters that we can do outside in the parks. And that's all ages that will be welcome.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yep.
Any questions for her regarding those items? Next on the agenda, we've got the summer programming, TUI and Cardinal Swim program contracts. I assume that's also talking about the pool management contract with the YMCA and TUI.
Correct. So we have that one. We also have Cardinal Swim Club, and I spoke with Shannon briefly about it. We still got that one to get turned in to Mark and his team. And then we also have our summer program between City of Muncie, NAACP, and the parks. That has been turned in to Mark as well. And typically we go through it and then report back to the board just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And I proceed doing the same thing this year, having the board involved a lot this year with what we do in terms of how we move with budgeting, funding, and follow-up invoices and receipts. I just think it'd be good for everybody this year to know what the left hand and right hand is doing. So that's our hope, that's our scope.
Any question for Carl on any of those?
Do we have do we have those numbers from last month in regards to the budget, the estimated budget for 2025
We
for
do.
TUI
And
YMCA?
I can have Nikki email those numbers, what our request is, what the bottom budget is for the total program. We got it broken down in the programming and staffing, and that's all
Okay.
on our paperwork, and we can have that submitted. And we definitely want the support from the board to have what we're requesting and how that process is to work.
The president of Cardinal Swim Club did reach out to me today and had noted that they would like to rent the pool again and would like that contract presented to them sooner rather than later. So that's good news.
Any other questions for Carl regarding that item? Next, we've got the skate park signage.
Yes. So, I went out yesterday and took a look at where we're at with that completion. And there had been some signs posted stating no trespassing as of right now. But there's been people out and about getting in on the track. There was one photo that I got sent to my phone where a gentleman was on a bike.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of partaking in whatever he wanted to do. And so that's a concern. We have not opened it officially. And so once we do, we'll, just like any other park or like the pool, we'll have a set of rules, signage to be up, put in place. And I'll soon be talking with Adam to try to get some opening dates so I know what timeline we're working with to get those signs and stuff posted, so that if the police is called, first thing they're going to ask, is there any posted, do you have posted signs up? And as of right now, we have the ones that are out just saying no trespassing. As far as opening hours, closing hours, those type of things, we need to get that posted once we know when we're going to open. Still don't have a date just as of right now. I just know we're close to the hard part of the hard surfacing of the skate park itself. Then there's landscaping and some soft cosmetic stuff that has to still be done. But, we definitely want to make sure we got some kind of safety measure in place as it relates to the skate park and the graffiti and artwork and things of that nature. So
I assume there's some some barriers out there to try to prevent people from getting into the site, or is that pretty minimal at this time?
You can pretty much walk right in. I was there. I mean, they got the orange fencing, which is what they require, is orange fencing. Hope people, just take heed to the fencing and what's posted. What's posted is no trespassing, and that's in and around the park itself. And so we just have to work, as we get closer, to have signs up saying what a person can and can't do. Because what you don't want is all kind of bicycles and tricycles and skateboards and just a lot of stuff out there. And then you have a chaos, and before you know it, you got an altercation between families on what can be on what surface of that skate park.
Well, I know this isn't the first construction project or that we've had some issues with people coming in before it's complete. We may need to look at future projects that we've got a more robust system as part of the contract, that they need to be able to prevent people from entering the work sites and securing those work sites when they're not there. Because the last thing we want is somebody getting in there and getting hurt.
Right.
Be a liability for us and the contractor.
Correct.
So. Any other questions for Carl?
And then I did, under new business, I do have a gentleman here who wanted to come up and introduce himself and just share a little bit of what he'd like to do with some events in our parks this year. So that one individual is Mr. Strong. And, he can come up and introduce himself and then kind of talk a little bit about what he liked.
This is Marwin Strong.
Mm-hmm.
Marwin Strong. Hi.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Zion Strong. I'm a CEO of a clothing brand called Forever Lasting, and also do a nationwide basketball tournament called Battle of the Brands. Really what I'm bringing you guys, I would like to do a summer-long basketball league. I'm pretty much doing a basketball league over at Union Missionary Baptist Church right now. We had a lot of people there. What's stopping us basically is that impact with the courts is getting a lot of people there. It's just not allowing our audience to fully be there. With this summer, we want to start off on June 21st and basically do it on each weekend that there's not an event currently going on at the parks right now. Just basically like to do it at McCullough Park. I was previously employed by the Indiana Pacers, and I made a lot of connections there. So some of those players want to come down to Muncie as well during the summer, and just want to help Muncie, honestly. Is there any questions or anything like that?
Will this be ran similar to how you're doing it at the church?
Pretty much, kind of with the same avenues. Before each game, we're going to say a prayer, just to basically speak on the safety and the fun, and pretty much, yeah, something like that.
So, what's a snapshot of a schedule look like?
Yeah,
Daily
so
schedule?
basically, we're going to have on each Saturday and Sunday from around the time of 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. And pretty much we'll have all the camera people out there and all that stuff, giving Muncie the full exposure within this whole event.
How many teams?
We're going to stop at 6 to 10 teams.
And is it like half court, full court games?
It's going to be a full court 5-on-5 games.
And just at McCullough Park?
Yes, ma'am, just at McCullough Park.
What age range are you targeting with the teams there?
The teams there, so they're going to be all collegiate basketball players, high school players, and professional athletes as well. So let's say
15 and up,
yeah,
pretty
15
much.
and up, pretty much.
Will there be vendors there?
Yes, there will be small business vendors, local businesses, and things like that.
And I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And would you be able to supply security?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm currently in the works with talking to with the sheriff, getting that. I handed my paperwork last week. Just really waiting on a response from them. If not that avenue, I'm currently real connected with Robert Scaife and his security business. So looking forward to do some great things with them as well.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
I do. Do you have insurance
Yes, ma'am. I have insurance.
for the organization?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you could provide us some documentation of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
And also, the Parks Department will partner up and work alongside the city and the organization, and then also some of the churches and stuff like that. So we'll make sure it's safe and have all the parties involved, and anything that Mr. Strong would need, Parks will try to help provide with him along the way. And I think it's a great opportunity to have an event going on that's organized and structured in our parks. And
So you are supportive of it?
yes, yes.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think this
Back
is
in my
a
day, that's what we did. They played
Yeah.
basketball. So, great.
great extension of the programming that we're working on. Excited to see a young man stepping up and wanting to take the reins, so it's good to see him getting involved. Certainly work with Carl and Nikki on getting the forms and the dates ironed out, and then whatever we can do to help. Individual dates will need to come through the board, and then whatever we can do to help promote. I think we want to help you as well. Any other questions for Mr. Strong?
Keep up the good work,
Yeah.
young man.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
being
I
a
appreciate
positive
you.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
We did kind of jump into new business there, which is great. Any old business we need to address before we move on to any other new business? I do have one other item to add on new business. Was reached out this week from the sanitation department, and they're interested in having some discussions on trash service at the parks. So they're interested in helping us manage that a little different. Currently, we do that with a trash truck that we own, with our labor and our overtime to help manage that. So they're working up an interlocal agreement to structure that. Don't have all the details yet, but it sounds like there may be minimal to no cost to the board for that. Outside of, they may ask that our current vehicle be turned over to them, so that they use that for the pickup, but then they would manage the trash service for the in-city parks. Did have some discussion if they'd be interested in also managing Prairie Creek. Don't think at this time that they want to take that on, but certainly a discussion that they want to have into the future here.
Carl, would you mind discussing like the positives and weaknesses of that agreement? Just to give us maybe a larger scope of,
And it sounds like we should have a more formal proposal maybe next month, but just wanted to get it before the board that there's some discussion there.
Yeah. I don't have all the information, all the details. Brad and I had a conversation today about it. I plan to talk with the mayor and Adam as well to get a little more information. I know when I started my first year, the city had a trash truck that they used, and they would go through the parks and assist with picking up trash with that, and that went down. That particular vehicle went down, and then we started manually toting them up on the trailer. And I think that's one of the reasons why they moved in the direction that they did. That was the administration before, to purchase a truck that would service the parks. But at some point in time, there was a interlock agreement with sanitation moving throughout the parks and picking up trash. I just don't know what the positives were, the negatives. So I have to do a little more discussing with Adam and Jason from over at sanitation, and then the mayor as well. So.
Other questions or discussions this time? I'll try to keep everybody updated. Any additional information I receive, and hope to see something either next month or the following on that. So, Carl, while we've got you here, one of the things we talked a little bit was the time out at Prairie Creek. I know Kelly's been out there. We've got Tawny that's going to have medical leave here coming up. Are we in good shape to cover out there? I know some of the board has had some off-book discussions, if we need additional support out there, or how are you feeling?
Yeah, kind of thin. Kelly and I are trying to talk about that and trying to discuss with HR to see if there's anybody in the pool that may have some need to want to work for the city, maybe in a part-time opportunity. So, but when you brought that up, we had kind of talked a little bit about it, Kelly and I, that we kind of knew some of her health concerns and things that could happen. And it's kind of all sprung on us kind of quick. So we're trying to make sure we got something in place, and so it's definitely on our radar to try to talk with HR to see if there's something there, and then we don't know all the skill sets of there's a new lady that just started there in the office, and so we're going to have to discuss that as well. It's better to be prepared than to be off guard and not prepared. So what we don't want to have happen is not be able to function with that office.
Right.
And so we definitely want to make sure that we're able to move forward and continue the services there as well. So, but we have talked about it. We have discussed it.
Okay. Any other new business items to discuss for the board, or questions for Carl? I did receive an email from the Holtzman neighborhood on an event. I don't know if you've got that or if we need to look at that for next month. I don't know if they copied anybody or where that went to.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
I'll look that up. I think it's June 21st. So I'll make sure we get that sent along and get that on the agenda for next month. So. Any other action items or event approvals from the board or the public? Any public input? I don't see any names on the list. Carl, don't go too far. I'm sure you got something else for us. Any other public comment? I see some new faces in the crowd. Appreciate that. Always glad to have people here. That's great.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.